This is Superbird week. The engine is ready to paint. I want to get it onto the cherry picker, moved into the booth, so we can get it scuffed and ready to shoot. I'm going to paint it today. We know that the parts are already ordered from AMD, so as soon as that huge order shows up, we blow that package apart, we get every single part out of there, we check it against the manifest, we make sure that it's the right one. I know you don't like to check your parts, but I do.
You know, every time we get in a parts order, there's always something missing, something Mark has forgotten. You know, now that my car has also been moved away from Graveyard Carz, he's gonna have to find another car to steal parts from.
And you stop the giggling. No grown man giggles like that unless he's up to some kind of crime. Anyway, for the Superbird, is we're gonna disassemble the body. We're gonna get every piece of sheet metal off of that Superbird and ready for the new parts. The minute that's done, the new parts start getting hung on it. By the end of the week, we're gonna have sheet metal hung on the Superbird. This sounds like a lot, so follow along. Engine, paint, married to transmission, engine run stand, done. Parts in, checked, car disassembled, new sheet metal hung on it. Friday, high five, everybody goes home.
Where's Royal?
You got it? Royal's having another existential week.
Wow, it must be really nice being Mark's best friend, like Royal has it. Need I say more?
Somebody get the door, let's raise this thing up. We got a hell of a busy week right now at Graveyard Carz. Got a lot going on. That's the way it goes. Sometimes it catches up with you all at once. And in addition to that, I got Josh, who every time he sees something shiny, I lose his attention. And Darren, who's bouncing off the walls. God knows what goes on in his head. I'm gonna have to really ride shotgun on these guys, make sure that they pay attention to what needs to be done so we can get it done. So what the guys are doing right now is they're getting the engine ready to paint. They're scuffing everything that is either new metal, such as like the heat shields, those spark plug wire separators, that's brand new metal. I like to get a scuff, even though the product that we're gonna use over it says you don't have to scuff. I like to be extra sure. Josh is using a red Scotch-Brite. Darren will be in a minute. I'm gonna go around it and make sure that it's chemically clean and that all the holes are plugged. And I'm gonna start mixing up the DP90 so that I can get the engine sprayed. It's gonna need about a half of an hour at this temperature before I can top coat it with the Hemi Orange acrylic urethane. Darren, how long are you gonna take to do that, buddy?
Till I get it right.
It's like 2 holes.
Till I get it right, okay?
Well, I'd like to paint it tonight. It still needs to set for half an hour. These engines from Chrysler, they were painted completely assembled. I mean, the exhaust manifolds, some people I know are sitting there right now thinking, what kind of butchers paint the exhaust manifolds? On these engines, they were painted in place, as were all the things that you see on here, and a couple you don't. The throttle bracket, the PCV valve that you see here, the rubber grommets. You know, if I was doing a car on my own, I would have those out when I'm doing it. In this particular case, Chrysler left them in, we're leaving them in. I try to make people believe anything's possible.
That's right.
You know, that if you got a dream, follow it.
Like R. Kelly.
Shut up, idiot, I'm talking. Fly. I want people to feel good about themselves. I want them to know that I'm on their team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I feel that way constantly.
That's the way you make me feel when you talk to me.
Okay, so while the guys are blowing down the engine, doing the final clean on it, I'm gonna mix up the DP product. This is what we choose. It's the DP90 LF, that stands for lead free. That means it's a little safer on the old body. This stuff is direct to metal. It'll seal that engine off. It'll give us a good substrate to go over the top of. This product goes 2 to 1. That's 2 parts of the actual primer to 1 part of the catalyst. So I'll get my PPG cup out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give myself 4 ounces of primer. Should have brought my glasses. We're gonna go to the 6. That's gonna give us a 2 to 1 ratio. You wanna stir that up. So you just need a primer gun to apply it with. Throw a filter in there. That'll filter out any kind of little chunks, like if you have some chunk around this edge. So if you look inside there, those little bubbles and chunks represent something that you don't want trying to go through the fluid needle of a paint gun. When you put this on, I usually shoot it around 30 to 40 PSI. I got the oven on at about 80 degrees. It'll set up in 30 minutes and be ready for a top coat. So I've got the DP90 on in a medium wet coat. The oven is running on the booth, so in about 30 minutes I'll be able to top coat it with the actual engine color, Hemi Orange.